You remember this?
As the celebration mode and the reality of the situation for those whose examination results had been cancelled was still dawning on them, it was the end of first term for the students under the 844 education system. The move announced by the Cabinet Secretary of Education, Dr. Fred Matiang'i, was in accordance with the preliminary investigations carried out that revealed that a lot of complicities, irregularities and illegitimate activities by the top management of the National Examination Council was a result of exam irregularities. At the same time, President Uhuru Kenyatta, through his Cabinet Secretary of Education, Dr. Fred Matiang'i, appointed a new NEC chairman, Professor George Magoha, formerly the Vice Chancellor of the University of Nairobi, to replace Professor Kabiru Kenyanjoe.
So the government has decided that it's time for us to act to reform that institution and to restore its credibility. Therefore, the government would like to announce this morning that we have dissolved the board of the Kenya National Examinations Council with immediate effect and appointed a new board. His Excellency the President has appointed Professor George Magoha, the former Vice Chancellor of the University of Nairobi, as the new chairperson of the board of the Kenya National Examinations Council. The term and appointment of the current chair has been revoked with immediate effect. I have this morning had a conversation with Professor Magoha and impressed upon him that upon the appointment that the President made yesterday, that he has to move with a lot of speed, meet with his board and begin the process of reforming the Kenya National Examinations Council. The Ministry of Education is committed to working with Professor Magoha and the new board to reform the Kenya National Examinations Council.
As the dust at NEC was settling down, May came with the beginning of the second term.
And actually, if we want to hold prayers for our candidates, we can do so in second term. When we get to third term, we should give our children the exclusive peace and ample time they need to prepare for exams. Some of the people who are raising issues right now don't know what these teachers go through. They don't know what the head teachers go through. In third term, when we begin this rather unusual behavior we have developed in our country, where we gather together in matatus and carry aunties and uncles and bananas and ugali and turn up in school, and then it takes the headmistress a week to recover from that arrangement, to even clean up the school, to get the kids back in together, to prepare for exams. And I'm asking those of you who are grumbling on that, about the decisions we took. On 4th, because we are starting KCSE exams on 7th of November, on 4th Friday, those of you are Muslims, when you go to the mosque, please say prayers for our candidates. On 5th, the Seventh-day Adventists, who will be there, the SDAs like me, we go to Sabbath, we will pray for our candidates. On Sunday 6th, those who go to church on Sunday, please hold prayers for our children. Then on 7th, let them do the exam on their own. Then let's carry on.
Keynote is that within the first 2 months of the second term, there were unrest in schools as students left, right and center were on a roll burning their schools down. A shocking act that began with one school became a trend where more than 100 schools were burnt down. The reasons given are bizarre as they were just mere excuses. The excuses began from Matiang'i's impromptu visit to schools. The visits were genuine, but there were claims that the Cabinet Secretary did send shivers down the spines of many a school head. Secondly, there were claims of fear over school audit queries as part of the ongoing reforms where the same Cabinet Secretary took charge and visited schools in regards to it. Well, they claim teachers were masterminds of the act. Anyway, it's not for us to judge as ELIMU Nguvu, but we're just perusing through the major events of the school calendar. Lastly, Among other reasons as to why, how, and the cause of fires is the lengthening of the second term by a week and the scribbling off of the social visits in schools during the third term. From classroom matters to co-curricular activities, the new rules and the new management in the education sector were supportive of the 2016 Kenya Music Festivals. This year, it was sponsored by the Central Bank of Kenya as they were celebrating 50 years of existence and service to Kenyans.
Central Bank is proud to join you to sponsor the Kenya Music Festival 2016. Of course, there are many worthy objectives in the country, a lot of them. And one could ask, why are we supporting this particular event in this way? Every institution is driven by its staff. And we are celebrating our 50th anniversary, CBK at 50. And this is a moment for celebration. And as Kenyans, Africans, we don't know any other way of celebrating except having a lot of song, dance, and a serious party. So all three come together.
The following day, a new month with no preparations, no predictions around 11 a.m. on the 1st of December, the year 2016, after the CSS of Education, Security and ICT, accompanied by the Kenya National Examinations Council chairman, held a meeting with President Uhuru Kenyatta. The four, Fred Matiang'i, Joseph Nkaiseri, John Musheru, and George Magoha, made their way to the Curriculum Institute and unceremoniously released the most guarded Kenya Certificate of Primary Education 2016 results. As the celebrations continued countrywide, other Kenyans were on social media airing the views as it is their norm. The social media handle was #KCP2016 on Twitter. Let's check out what was in the mind of Kenyans.
That's where we were, and as it seems, this was just a tip of the iceberg on matters what Matiang'i had in store for all parents, students, and the education sector in Kenya. On the 29th of December of the year 2016, Dr. Fred Matiang'i did pull a second shocker for Kenyans. The event was held in Shimo La Tewa High School, and the news was a form of breaking news to Kenyans again. On that fateful afternoon, the 2016 KCSE candidates were to receive their results. TikTok, as all eyes were at Shimo La Tewa High School, the time came and most of the big wigs in the education sector arrived at the venue for the unusual timing release of the KCSE 2016 results as an event that came after the CS of Education, Dr. Fred Matiang'i, and his colleagues, Education Principal Secretary Belio Kipsang, Kenya National Examination Council Chairman George Magoha, Acting NEC CEO Mercy Gathigya, and Teachers Service Commission CEO Nancy Macharia had a stopover for a meeting with his employer, President Uhuru Kenyatta, who, in the words of Matiang'i, he was not pleased with the highly guarded 2016 Kenya Certificate of Secondary School Examination results. As everyone was settling in at the hall at Shimo La Tewa High School, the time came for the release of the KCSE examinations. It began with remarks from parties related in the education sector, from the TSC CEO, Principal Secretary in the education sector, and also the Chairman of the Kenya National Examination Council (NEC), whose words made the KCSE 2016 candidates glued to the screen for the release of the results, which their hearts panting heavily, quite literally. According to Magoha, he was appointed for the job and he's glad that all he's getting more experience than when he was head of the university and that the results were a true reflection of students' abilities.
He never applied for this job, I told you many times before, but I'm very glad that I took it because what I've learned here in 7 months is more than what I learned in the university for all the years. And the reason is very simple. if you accept to be a cleaner of a toilet, I think you should clean that toilet so well that it looks cleaner than any other thing. So if you choose on your own volition to be a teacher, teaching profession, in my view, is the most important profession. Don't come to teach because it is a job, it's just another job. It can't be another job. You understand? And the reason why I said I'm addressing my skeptics is that they are going to say, oh, how come they set this exam? Who set it? How come they have marked it so quickly? Let me teach you. I've been a teacher also for about 38 years. Time is the only thing that you cannot save. And if you think you can save time, you must be stupid. You cannot save time. No, it is true. So if you can do a job in 1 month, tell me why you should take 3 months to do it. Because the extra time we have now, since we are releasing the exam today, the parents, me and you, we shall plan for our children. Is that good or bad? So why should we have more time so that the people in my organization who are used to something small corrupt you even when your child has done well?
And after his sentiments, they shook hands with his new buddy and colleague, who are alike in speech presentation, Dr. Fred Matiang'i. The two don't begin talking with niceties, or as the CS Education calls it, quotes from Martin Luther King, among others, but they got straight to the business.
They're going through, a huge 10-page speech full of quotations and wise sayings from Martin Luther King to everybody. Let's go straight to the issues and get done with the work we have at hand. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, Robert, for a wonderful speech.
As we analyze the high school results of 2016, here are the highlights.
And all of us, by the way, including myself, will be on duty from 7th to 30th of November, supervising exams.
We have ensured the most honest national exams in many years. Not just to be strict, but to ensure that our young people's efforts are reflected in their results. That those who can afford to cheat in exams do not rob opportunities from those who are hardworking and honest.
Tell me that because you have been in a particular position for X number of years, therefore you should move to job group Z. It can't work that way.